Okay, so I think we're ready to start with the first masterclass. So it's a true pleasure for me to start this masterclass with the transport team. So for the first time, we will have the Mark Winner, two Mark Winner. They will introduce us some of the topics that I would like you to go or that we would like all together to go through in the rest of the year. The first topic that we will see is a part of the supply chain, but it's so important for us for us in particular that we distribute goods to understand what happens from I see an echo.
Sì.
Okay, vero? Okay. From the factory to the hands of the consumer. So I will leave now the word immediately to Roger. He will start talking about the supply chain in general, and then we will introduce the transport team that will talk about what happens from the factory to the hands of the consumer.
Yeah, there is the echo. Okay. Okay, so I will start just doing a short introduction about the supply chain situation, okay? Um, Most of you know that during the last years, we have faced since even a little bit before from the COVID, during the COVID period, we have suffered a strong pressure on supply chain. Okay, I would like just today to introduce you that there is let's say an indicator, an index about the pressure that the supply chain is suffering. Okay, this kind of indicator is providing to us an overview of how is the situation globally speaking. Okay, as you can see here, since 20 years ago, the pressure on supply chain was roughly not zero, but the average was too low. And you can see here that on the last years, the pressure was increasing dramatically. This increase of pressure is affecting the times of delivery, the shipping cost, is affecting everything, the backlogs in the factories, everything. Okay, so right now, if we take a look on how is the situation currently, we can see that is decreasing. Okay, and we are reaching some let's say numbers, some figures that are pretty much close to the average. Okay, so how is built or how is calculated this kind of index? So right now, I found this slide that to me it's like quite interesting. But you can see in that slide, let me show you, which is the pressure split. No, which are the values inside of this index, and the values that you can find here. Okay, you can see here that there are different variables. Like for example, the outbound in Asia. So this is increasing the pressure. Why? Because still this problem is not solved. Okay, still we are facing the long lead times from Asia. Here we have deliveries from Korea, inbounds from Europe, etc., etc., etc. So this part of concepts is affecting in a negative way to this pressure in supply chain. Okay, and all these concepts like the deliveries in US, for example, Japanese, Great Britain, etc., are offsetting a bit, okay, the other concepts. So when I said before that we are, let's say, in a better position, it's right, of course, but we have to consider that always we have a part that is impacting to increase this index, the pressure in supply chain, and there is another part that is performing pretty well, okay, that is decreasing. So the total sum is providing to us this final result. So in general terms, let's say, just to recap this short introduction, that we are moving in the right way, let's say globally. Okay, let's say globally. When you look in a local, so we have to be careful about that. Okay, this is my short introduction about supply chain. My only purpose was just to provide to you that idea that there is an indicator that can provide to us how is the status of the supply chain. And right now, I pass the stage to the team of transport, okay, explaining to us, okay, how the goods are moving from production to the hands of the customers. So I let the transport team to start the presentation. Thank you. Second, okay.
Thank you, Roger, with the voice of a pope in Piazza San Pietro on a Sunday morning. But thank you, Roger. Now we leave the stage to Silvia, Mercè, and Adina.
Thanks very much. We are very happy to see you all today for our presentation. As you know, we are in charge of the EMEA Import and Export. I'm Silvia, and I'm the Transport Director. And today, we are going to talk about Marwin's transport flow. We are going to divide this training into two parts, inbound and outbound. Let's begin by the inbound of the goods. We will explain the Marwin's import flow, what documentation is needed, and the main points to consider. We are importing the goods from our factory and suppliers located in China, US, and Mexico. The means of transportation used can be sea freight or air freight, full container, or groupage, and term of sales are thick and flat conditions. Our primary responsibility is preparing the documentation for customs authorities in Spain, usually 3 weeks before of the arrival, resolve the problems that may occur during the dispatch, inspections, discrepancies, additional documentation, and coordinate the delivery in our facilities. Take a look at the documentation necessary for the import of the goods. Regardless the purpose of the shipment, stock or samples, or the terms of sales, the documents must be the same in origin and destination. The information must be included in the commercial invoice or pro forma invoice are the following: shipper, consignee, country of origin, harmonized code, Incoterm, item description, quantity of units, unit price, total amount, and not necessary for the custom process, the PO number, but it is necessary for upload the stock in import and SCM. And packing lists are the following: shipper, consignee, item description, quantity units, net weight, gross weight, total amount of pallets and cartons, and plastic kilos import to Spain. Because from January 2023, due to the last change in the European regulation of plastic, it will be mandatory to declare in front of the tax authorities the total plastic weight of the packaging. An important point in the documentation is the harmonized codes. It's used by customs authorities around the world to identify the products. Based on the product classification and type of product, the duty rates at the site. Today, we don't have the time to drill down, but we want to give you an introduction to the main harmonized code used by Marwin's. Beauty products are classified in 5 groups: lips, eyes, nails, powers, and rest of beauty products. Beauty sets contains various products apart of the cosmetics, and each must be classified under their own harmonized code. And we cannot declare it as a cosmetic with the standard harmonized code. The commercial invoice or the pro forma invoice must be used with the breakdown of the content per article, with the correct harmonized code, country of origin, quantity of items, and unit price. The size of brushes, puff, and sponges, and displays. This last one, the harmonized code changes according to the material which it is manufactured. Plastic, metal, carton, wooden, and it happens the same as with the beauty sets. If the display is manufactured with several materials, the content must be broken down. Okay, let's move to the next point. Custom clearance is the process of declaring goods to the customs authorities when entering or leaving a country. The purpose of the custom clearance is to ensure that all applicable import duties and taxes are paid and goods complete with the relevant regulation. Take a look now at the process. The cargo arrives at the port and the container is discharged of the vessel. Documents such as a commercial invoice, packing list, bill of lading, or able bill are entered into the customs system, and our broker declares the import. If there is no problem with the declaration, they use an import permit, but if not, an inspection will be required. The fiscal light can be green. Does it mean that immediately release? Orange or yellow, they usually request the product technical sheet or catalog is always a documentary control. And red channel, that it means that the physical inspection of the goods. Obviously, all the goods are not subject to the custom control or inspection. As I said before, the quantities and contents must be always the same in origin and destination. Regardless the purpose of the shipment, samples, stock, internal use, because this is a very serious matter, because if the authorities find discrepancies, ground classification with harmonized codes, gross discrepancies with the weight or the total amount of cartons or pallets, slow down all the clearance process, generate distrust in the customs, and we had to already pay many fines. Also, the documentation is correct. The customs authority performed random call downs. The custom clearance process takes around 5 working days without inspections. However, varies a lot from month to month, and especially whether it is a festive day, during the Easter period, summer, or Christmas. And we cannot speed the process them or guarantee the delivery date in our facilities. Now we are at the end of the process. Import custom clearance must be complete once the cargo is released, and we coordinate the pickup of the goods and delivery the shipment in our facilities. Well, having said that, I will give the floor to my coworker Adina. Thanks very much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adina. Wish me luck, please. With your permission, we are ending this first part of the training talking about Incoterms, as it's one of the most important parts of this process, and due to the responsibility of each part is defined. Incoterms are the world's essential terms of trade for the sales of goods. Sorry. And there is a set of 11 rules established by the International Chamber of Commerce, which define the responsibilities of sellers and buyers. If you focus your attention on the yellow line of the cells, you can see that these are being classified in any transit mode, sea or inland waterway transport, and any transport mode. And below on the green line are mentioned the Incoterms that act in consideration with this classification. Furthermore, if I can get your attention on the first column, you can observe the responsibilities of both parts involved that must be assumed, such as packaging, loading charges, delivery to part or to a place, export duty, taxes and security clearance, original terminal charges, loading on carriage, carriage charges, and insurance. Incoterms specify clearly who pays the freight, insurance, documentations, custom clearance, and other logistical activities, and who has the responsibilities in different steps of the cargo delivery between sellers and buyers. Moreover, in negotiation, this aspect is very important because when the cargo issue happens, it will be difficult to keep a good business deal. That's why Incoterm is required to prevent confusion and disagreements between international buyers and sellers. The 5 most used Incoterms are Ex-Works, Marqueens in charge of the load of the goods and provide the documentation, DAP, delivery a place, DDP, delivery duty paid, FOB, free on board. Marqueens is in charge to load the goods and provide the documentation and for export clearance in origin. TIF, cost, insurance, and freight. One moment, please. The main difference between DDP and DAP is delivery to destination and who is responsible for import duty, taxes, and security clearance. Under DDP, Marquins assumes the maximum responsibility in costs and risk from the beginning to the end. Under DAP, the customer bears the costs and taxes of import clearance. Now, we are starting the second part of this training, which is outbound or export operations. This is the process of collection, storage, and distribution of the goods to customers. We have decided to divide this part into two, retailers and distributors. In this way, it will be better to understand how Marquins works with its different customers. In Marquins, distributors are managed by export conditions, meaning the client is in charge from the contracting and managing transportation in our facilities to the final delivery place. So all Marquins must do is provide the documentation, packing list, and invoice, and communicate the volume, such as quantity, pallets or boxes, weight, measures, etc. And now I will hand over to my colleague Merced, and she will continue the presentation.
Thank you, Adina. Hi, now can you which slide? Yeah, of course. This one. Now it's time to talk about how retailers are run here at Marquins. The Incoterms used for these customers are DAP or DDP. This will depend on what the sales team agrees with the customer. So that means that the Marquins is in charge from the contracting of the transport in our facilities to the final delivery place. Currently, United Kingdom is the only country we serve in DDP conditions. So Marquins pays for everything, but the countries of the European Union are under DAP conditions, including Andorra, Canarias, and Portugal Islands. As the retailers are managed by us, Transport Department, Silvia, Dina, and myself, we have to take into account the following elements to decide what type of transport we are going to use for each order. The first step is to check where we have to ship the order. If it's a shopping mall, a warehouse, a private address, or store. Then the transport use can be one or another. Therefore, it's important to always have complete information of the delivery address. Then we have to see what the volume of the order is. It's not the same to ship a pallet than a box, and there are different types of transport depending on what we are shipping. We are currently using the following transports: small parcels and samples by DHL. It's like 24 hours, 48, depending on the country. Courier only accepts loose cartons, and group service. It can be pallets or loose cartons, or both. Last but not least, it's important to be clear about the delivery conditions for each customer or delivery place. Generally, customers have a supplier manual with all the requirements. For example, if it's allowed to deliver in loose cartons, or if a booking is needed, if there are delivery schedule, also logistic instructions that it's Nuria and Maria. To sum up all these points, when the order is delivered, the transport sends us the invoice of the shipment considering these points: delivery place, volume of the order, and if there has been an extra service as fixed delivery time. So the transport cost is not linked to the cost of the order, but to all of these points mentioned before. And then, sorry, I have to change. To end this presentation, we thought it would be interesting to talk about the future of the transportation that involves moving into new, smarter sources of energy, modes of transport, and physical and technological infrastructure to support these transportation innovations. Given the fast expansion of the technologies in recent years, we can assume all will be major contributors to our transportation future. According to the European Union program, these are some of the agreements that they want to achieve until 2050, like zero emissions, reduced diesel, autonomous transportation, high speed, traffic rail. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. So thank you all of you for joining us this afternoon.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had one thing important concerning the distributors. As I said before, Adina, the transportation is under client responsibility and cost, but we need to demonstrate behind the authorities that the goods are leaving the European countries. And this is not under cost, but it's under responsibility. And it's very, very important to have the proof behind the customs and the government if we have an inspection. And with that, sorry for interrupt, I say the word to Giuseppe. Thanks very much for your time. We hope that you enjoyed this time.
Thank you. Anginette has raised the hand. I would first of all.
Sorry, I was supposed to clap and I raised my hand
Clap.
by mistake. Sorry.
Yes.
Clap, clap.
Clap, clap. Thank you, Anginette, because first of all, thank you very much to the transport team. Good job from Silvia, Mercè, Adina. So thank you again. I will now leave the word again to Roger, because he would like to talk about a little bit about what will happen in the future. So Roger, the stage is all yours again.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, I have some videos. I don't know if we will face the same issue or not. I will tell to all together, please press the button all together just to see the video, okay? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Just to explain about what we have right now, what we will have in the medium term, and what we will have in the future. I use, let's say, the innovation, what is called the innovation cycle. Okay, so let's say that every innovation is a wave. Okay, so right now we are, let's say, it's like when it was the paper, then was the computer, and right now we have the intelligence, artificial intelligence. Okay, so regarding transport, let's say that the first way, that is where we are right now, we are in the way of petrol. Okay, this is the most consolidated. Okay, let's say that maybe we are right now not on top. Okay, we are in the last part. This part is depending on the petrol, so we are, let's say, linked to the cost of the petrol. We are linked to the truck drivers. Okay, so this is the currently most popular way. Then we are moving to the second wave. Okay, all of us just listening the news, etc. We have listened a lot about Tesla that is investing amounts of money in electric cars, also in electric trucks. Okay, so in the second wave, we have electricity, let's say. Okay, we have the electricity, but for the electricity, we need also a lot of minerals because we need to build the batteries. Okay, we have another kind of fuel that is another, let's say, new fuel that is called green hydrogen. Is just to get from the air, let's say like this, from an electrical process, hydrogen, to put this on the trucks. So there are some trucks that right now, for example, in that case, as you can see in the picture, Mercedes is using, right? And that we have a third part. So we have the petrol, we have the electricity, and right now this is the third part. That are kind of, let's say, fuel that is not derived from the petrol. Is taking one component from the air, okay, they are processing in a natural way, let's say, respecting the nature, everything. And the emissions, again, is the same that they took. So is a circle. Okay, so there are these different kinds. Okay, regarding the electricity, you know which are the players on the big players that are investing a lot on that. For example, Amazon, you know, of course, if I ask all of you one of the players, you will tell me, all of us, you will tell Amazon. Amazon is investing more than $1 billion dollars in trying to change, okay, all the trucks, above all in US, okay, but with truck drivers, okay. Then we have another companies that is one of the huge companies when we talk about sea freight. When we talk about sea freight, Mars, I don't know if it's the correct pronunciation, but okay, but this is the logo. Mars is investing in the new vessels that instead of electricity, instead of the petrol, let's say derivates from the petrol, is using derivates like the third type, not from fossil, not from petrol, like alcohol, okay, something like that. Okay, so let's say that in the second wave, okay, the companies are investing in electricity, new fuels, etc., etc., etc. Also companies, again, as Amazon, and right now there is a video. I will try to press the button. If anyone is watching the video, please press the button, shut off the music, okay, because it's just to have an idea. But even right now, you can get the idea. The idea is, again, Amazon that is investing in drones. Okay, I will press the button. Let's say if something happened. I guess that you are not seeing the video. Okay, you can see the video, no?
No.
Okay, so it's the same problem. No problem at all.
Yes, I can see it.
Yes.
We can see the video if we press our button. There is a
yeah, if
button
you
in the
press the
middle of
button.
the video.
Okay.
We can press.
You can press the button, no problem at all. So because the idea at the end is just to explain to all of you that, again, Amazon is investing on this new, let's say, new technology has started from last year, to be honest. Okay, but the idea at the end is that is just right now focus on a specific places in US, as you can see right now in the next slide, okay, without the video. So it's the drone is only located for California and College Station, Texas. So this kind of delivery is not working for all the companies. Again, the energy we are talking about, let's say electricity. And in that specific case, the funny thing, let's say, is that the drone has to drop the box 12 meters, okay, from the ground. So it means that it's not valid for all the kinds of products. So if you want to buy in Amazon and to receive by drone a camera, so it's not possible because the camera will crash, okay? So, but okay, there are a lot, of course, from our perspective, from Marwin's perspective, let's say that our future could be to be close to Amazon, okay, because Amazon is investing a lot of money. If I will remember, 40 billions is what Amazon has already invested along the years, no, in order to have that. Okay, and then if we move to the third wave, again, all of us knows because the first wave is petrol. The second wave is zero emissions. In the third wave, we have again, no, the clean energy, but with the add value of no truck driver. Okay, and using what is right now in any new and everywhere, that is the intelligence, artificial intelligence. Okay, where the big players also are Google. Are Microsoft, that Microsoft has a link with OpenAI. OpenAI is the famous one that launched the GPT chat, okay? And then, of course, on that, let's say, competition, of course, is Amazon again. Okay, see, there are a lot of startups, okay, but the big players, the let's say, the monster on the market that are investing more money on that are all of those. regarding this third wave, okay, we have autonomous trucks. We have talked about road, but we don't have to forget that still there are companies like those. This company is from Norway. It's a manufacturer of vessels. And this company is, let's say, kind of, let's say, company vessel, but pretty close to military stuff. Okay, so both together has been working to build a autonomous vessel. The problem of this autonomous vessel right now on is the capacity. So they are trying how they can, let's say, optimize the batteries, or they can optimize the energy in order to reach long shipments, right? Because right now it's pretty limited. But okay, the trend of the market is that. So the trend of the market is avoid truck drivers, avoid any human person driving on the vessel. So everything in remote control, everything by IA, etc., etc., etc. This kind of let's say of projects is so, let's say, it's easier to do it, let's say, in US, because when we are in Europe, what happens? That we have a lot of restrictions. In fact, the European community have published some, let's say, considerations regarding the use of artificial intelligence in road transport and everywhere. And for the moment, they said that, okay, let's think about what we can do. Because right now, the society here in Europe, let's say, well, let's society or the governments, better, are not ready to know how to face and how to deal with that. Okay, so it's amazing what I said before regarding the, okay, drones, etc., but in Europe, still there are small proof, okay, also Amazon is doing autonomous small trucks on the streets, etc., but okay, we are on that. And the question is, okay, usually there are the third wave, but we have this overview right now, okay, but what could be the fourth? Okay, because something disruptive, something a little bit different from sea and road, and quite similar to train, but it's not really a train. Okay, so in that situation appears this guy that maybe most of you know who is that guy. Is Richard Branson, was famous because of the CD. I don't know that the young people maybe doesn't know what a CD, but okay. Or even a cassette, okay? But okay, this was the founder. Then they decided to invest in a lot of things. And the last crazy thing that this guy has invested is, before to the video, I will go to the slide, is to, let's say, imagine a long tube. And inside of that tube, we apply the vacuum. So no air, nothing. We put inside of that tube with vacuum a kind of train. You can see here, kind of train. So the speedness that we can reach with this kind of new disruption is a lot. Is maybe the double of course, double of an airplane is 700, or I don't know, it's a lot, okay? And even the cost is less expensive. As you can imagine, this is a render, this is not reality. So this is a huge project that is in the mindset of crazy people like Richard Branson. Also, Elon Musk is on that too, okay? And maybe I guess that in Amazon, Jeff Bezos, because when they start to go to the competition, everyone want to be the first one, okay? But this is the, let's say, for the moment, the most crazy idea, because the investment that we have to do, it's amazing. But let's see how the future will be. Of course, you have the video. Again, if you press the button, you will see a short recap of that video.
Let's press the button together, all together. Click.
Yes, sure. Yeah, you can see that it's faster than the plane, because it's 760 miles per hour. Okay, and what is real is that they have tested in a short, let's say, distance. They have already tested with people. Okay, so you will see in the video a couple of people. Okay, that are traveling. You maybe right now I'm seeing, I don't know if you are seeing, but a couple of people that are traveling. So this is a crazy idea that right now is happening, okay? And the improvement also in transport will be on that way, but let's see how the future will be, okay? So that's everything from my side. So I hope you enjoy this presentation. Thank you so much to Transport team. Thank you so much to Giuseppe and Sarah to organize, also to Monica. And if you have any questions, always you can contact me and I will answer doing my best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Roger. Thank you very much, Silvia, Mercé, and Adina, again, for taking part to the for creating the first master class of Marquins. So I believe I will leave you just a second if you have any questions to the team. Now that they are here or connected, they can answer to your questions. Don't be shy. I will give 1 second. 1 second to all of you if you have any questions. Otherwise, feel free to send all your questions to them or to me and Sarah. We will send we will forward your questions to them because it's a very interesting topic, especially what is coming next. So thank you, Roger, for sharing the futuristic idea of transportation, and again, thank you, Silvia, Mercé, and Dina, for sharing what happens with our company, within our company, because it's important that everyone who manages the business has an idea of what happens from the factory to the consumer. Okay, so again, thank you very much for joining, for connecting, and any questions you might have, send it to us. Otherwise, we will meet again in another live session soon by the end of the month. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.